when we say about macroeconomics, we concern with the performance of the entire economy. The way to assess for the economy, they have very different way. We have very detailed and way that economists enjoy to do something like that. But currently, we just do certain aggregate way. Yeah. Usually, we assess the economy in terms of production, like how much we can produce this year and what is the value of the all of the production in terms of monetary term. That usually economists when they try to forecast the situation, economic situation in the future, we need to aggregate it into volume and price. I will talk this point later more. Or you can see also for how the money go, the distribution and redistribution of the money to the specific sector or specific social class, or it depends on what you would like to analyze. And finally, we would like to see the consumption to the household consumption or common consumption and the wealth of nations. This is the way that the macroeconomics deal with. And if you see the picture, when we said about growth, we discussed in 2 points. The first we call stock, the second we call flow. If you see the stock in the year T is less than stock in the year T plus 1. This means that economic growth and the red card is the thing that is increased. And every year we would like to see it increase every year. In Thailand, just only for your example, similar to population, we can get this information from some authority or research institute. For example, we have the National Economic and Social Development Board that they have to prepare one of the very sophisticated and very hedged one, try to collect information from every sector in the country, establish what we call it the system national account, or sometimes we call it national income. And that they have integrated into different sectors that use the same standard all over the world. Yeah. And also the Bank of Nations, like the Bank of Thailand, also provide many economic and financial indicators that we can use. Ministry of Commerce, they have to provide the official price index. I will touch this point further positive. Ministry of Finance also, they have to provide, they know the revenue of the government, they know the expenditure, they know the budgeting and spending of the government. And also, usually, Ministry of Finance is responsible for the short-term economic projection, like the next year, next 2 years, next 3 years. But don't ask them more than that. They cannot answer you because their model is just dealing with the short-term one. So for the long-term one, maybe we need the research institute to do this. For example, Thailand, Thailand Development Research Institute, TDI, is like the non-profit one. They can provide us the short-term and long-term economic projection and also other research. Then we go a little bit for detail of the gross domestic product. This is an aggregate indicator for the macroeconomic activity. As I mentioned to you first, that to project the GDP, we can project it by the total GDP, the whole amount of money, but it's quite crude and maybe too easy to manipulate, and we cannot see why it change like that. So usually, at least we have to break it into volume effect and price effect. We do this because the volume change in the future and price change is not the same. Price change may be 3%, volume change may be 2%, 5% or something like that. So if we separate it, we can predict it more precise. Okay? If you like to project it, okay. But usually I recommend you try to find somebody who can do it. Otherwise you have a little bit confused similar to this. Yeah, but if you like to do it, no problem. I have another one month course for you. Next week. Free, but by sponsored by IRO. Okay, this is like to show you for the PDI forecast for the long term 20 year. Yeah? To forecast for 20 years, usually we cannot rely on the past. Yeah. For the short term, usually we think that we can use trend analysis because the short term everything change a little bit. Yeah? But for the long term, 10 years, 20 years, usually we need some more sophisticated analysis. And usually they set up in like a scenario. Yeah? At least they don't want to be wrong. That's why they just project high, low, and medium. So anyway, it would be around this, something like that. So in this projection, Dr. Somchai for PDI, he forecasted in 3 scenarios. The first one is like we call that the green one is the high GDP growth. He mentioned it as the GDP that enough for escape from middle income trap for Thailand. Yeah? The second one, the blue one, is like our potential. Yeah? And the third one is the weak decision. It means that maybe if we do something wrong, maybe the growth just only 2%. If we do it accurately, maybe the growth is around 7, thing like this. We use in our calculation, we usually use the potential growth for safe. Yeah. So, but if you don't believe him, you would like to do it by yourself. This is the way you can do. First, if you check into your own statistics in your country, at least they have to show you the GDP at constant price and also the GDP at the market price or current price is the same thing. So when you multiply GDP at constant price with the GDP deflator, you can get the GDP at current price. We can say that okay, for GDP at current price, the money that we spend now, if we break it into 2 parts, for GDP at constant price is the volume change, and the GDP deflator is price change. We see differently. That's why in every national income or SMA system national account, they have to show both constant price and current price, and then you can calculate deflator from that. Why we need to see deflator, I will show you later. Okay. So we need to calculate it for the GDP at constant price. We have to use the very simple formula like this. We call it the productivity multiplied by employment. Productivity in this definition is very crude. It's just like a average income of employee. I mean that everybody who can employ just only from the system national account. It's like average of of the people in that country per person and multiply by total person who are employed, then you can get the GDP. So this is quite important formula. You have to remember it because we just use this. GDP is equal to productivity multiplied by employment. So, but actually, we will start from GDP because we know GDP, right? We know GDP. We know number of employment from labor force. Then we can calculate for employment. Okay? It's just really the formula that you reverse. Then we will go to the next step. You have to know that by using this formula, they have some pitfall. When we calculate from start from GDP, you will start from here and then you assume for productivity and you know the employment. Okay. Finally, you will get the unemployment because we know the total of economic active population and we calculate employment and then finally we get unemployment. The problem is that sometimes you have very good dream, you estimate productivity is quite high, and then finally you will see that your employment is more than your population in the future. So you have to check by use this way. If you start from fixed GDP and let the unemployment or unemployment as a independent variable, they have possibility that maybe you calculate a number of employment more than economic activity population or even population itself. So just check that you not estimate too much. Maybe JC would like to say something more.
Should be the other way around.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can do another way around. Yeah, it should be reverse. Sorry. Maybe I sleepy more. But they have another way that you can do, like you can start from unemployment and as a dependent variable, and then you assume for productivity that you maybe and you know employment now, and you let the GDP change. And this is usually if you don't want to hedge it with the the chart that I mentioned before, we use this way, but the GDP will change. And then you see you're not happy with the GDP sometimes. It's too high or too low, I don't know. Usually too low. Yeah. So this is the way to play with the simple formula like this. The next one is the last formula. We call it consumer price. Usually, when economic growth, it's unavoidable to prevent price inflation, and by theory, it can be change different because when you said about the GDP deflator, it's the price change of all of the activity in the economy. Maybe the price change for specific thing, like a certain good, like for this we mentioned on the consumer price, but the thing that people consume, maybe the price change is not the same as the other sector consume or something like that. So in a real situation, they have a little bit different. But in this model, and usually for forecast, we can assume that the consumer price index is equal to GDP deflator. you can assume other way. But if you think, if you assume other way, you have to understand that if you project for too long, then you will have some conflict between your GDP and your income in the future. So for the long-term projection, usually we assume it come close together until the same. Okay, so at least we have to follow what the graph show you that this is quite a simple way that we can do the economic projection. So if you see in the graph model, we have the eco worksheet that we then start from the GDP at constant price. Actually, they try to ask you to break down into the sector. If you have that information, it's okay. But if you don't have, maybe just only by GDP by aggregate for the whole country is enough for our calculation for social protection law. Then you know the GDP growth rate. This is volume change, right? And then you will get the new GDP at constant rate for the next year. Again, you also need to know or assume the GDP deflator, that's the price change of the GDP. How can we get this? Usually we just estimate from the trend, and also maybe you need some imaging how far your country can improve productivity or something like that. Yeah? And then you can see the GDP growth rate after you use trend analysis or something like that. And together between the GDP at constant rate multiply with the deflator, you will get the GDP at current price for the next year. We need this to compare for fiscal space, fiscal impact, or anything that you have to compare. That now, I know that you will calculate a lot for the previous yesterday and this morning to find how much money you need, and you need to compare it with the GDP or with the government spending or government revenue that we will touch more to show that okay, how much money we need, whether it's too much to the country, something like that. Yes. And also by this way, you can get the, if you see the formula on the right side, when we have GDP at constant price multiplied by employee, then you can get the labor productivity and then the labor productivity growth rate. Finally, you can get the employee. When you get employed, with the economic active population, you can calculate use the formula that I show you to get unemployed. This is a flow. And maybe a little bit confused, but I try to show you that I have at least 4 formulas here. If you follow that formula, you can understand it. And this is in the introduction. But it's difficult to read if you don't know what does it mean. But I think I try to separate it into the 4 formula. You can follow this. Okay. So now it's time for exercise again. Okay, very simple one. If you calculate this, you understand what I talk. What it is. So we know the GDP as constant price. Let's assume that it's a 5,000 currency unit, right? We know that GDP at current price is 6,000 at the year T. So what we need to do is GDP deflator. Yeah. So usually, if you remember the first or second formula, I'm not sure. You can get this GDP at current price equal to GDP constant price multiplied by deflator. So if you like to get the deflator, how can you do? Just remove, right? Then you can get, how much it is?
1.2.
Okay.
1.2.
Yes. So it means that it's 5% more. That if you have GDP at constant price, you multiply by 5% around that, then you can get the GDP at current price. So 6,000 divided by 5,000. Yeah, 1.2. Yes, should be 1.2. And then we will use this for forecast. Now you know everything that you need. You can get the GDP growth because you know the series of GDP change before for the constant price. You know that GDP growth for the GDP at constant price may be 10%. Okay? So if you assume that it will grow at the same rate, then you can get the new GDP at constant price. Okay? So if you say that this is growth at the same rate, 10%. Yeah. So what is your next GDP constant price?
Multiply with 10%.
Yes, like you use this multiplied by 1.2, 1 plus 1.2. If you, it's so like in percentage, it's 120%. Right? In percent, it's like that. Or you can say it's 1 plus, 1 plus, yeah. So you can get something like this. In formula, in Excel, it's very easy. Okay, then if you also think that the price change is the same, right? You can say that okay, GDP deflator depends on you. But if you say okay, GDP deflator is the same as the previous year, yeah, then you assume that it's 1.22, yeah, and then by this way, you can get the new GDP at current price. Here you come. Projection of the GDP. Easy? Yes. But in the examination, it's not easy like this. Okay. All of the blue sheet on the econ, although they have a lot of things, the core concept is here. Okay. But you remember that usually very crude. It needs a lot of your thinking. Like you have to think that how much for the GDP growth of your country in the future, right? In the constant price, and what is the deflator, thing like that, and then you also have to know the how much money per each employee that we call it the productivity, yeah, to get the in detail of employment, and then we can get the unemployment. Okay. It's step by step like this by this formula. Okay. So do you have any question for this very simple formula? Now you can apply for staff at this faculty. Now you are macroeconomist. You can apply position here. Okay. Yeah, but usually this is the way that we do for modeling for the long term. Like if you see in the ILO model for pension or for health or for other social security, usually we just do around this, and maybe you can ask whether it accurate enough. It depends on your assumption. Yeah? If you assume by yourself quite close to the real thing, then you can get the same. Yeah? If you see the history and you follow the history, maybe your 5 year or not 1 year, but not much different. Yeah. If there is no any shock, if they have any shock, maybe something is different. Yeah. So we do this because it depends on your final calculation that you need to compare your benefit. Right? You know how much money you need, but we need to assess this your benefit with the productivity of your country, and also the how much money you need for the government. So we answer that point later when I explain more for the government revenue and expenditure, and you can see the fiscal impact. At that time, we answer that, and after that, they can see and understand why we need that econ sheet. Okay. So I will touch this point again at that time.